Okay, Sultai Midrange. Sultai, for those not familiar, refers to this 3-color combination that you have here in front of us, which is blue, black, and green. This deck is playing Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, as our companion here. So very powerful card. Whenever this enters the battlefield or attacks, you gain 3 life and draw a card, and then you can escape it back from your graveyard. So really, this card's probably more comparable to a commander than a companion, because you get to sit there and escape it again and again and again and again. The rest of the deck is just like pretty reasonable interaction. We've got 6 discard spells in the 2 slot, some decent spot removal, a Pseudo Sweeper and Massacre Girl. Casualties of War is more flexible removal, and then Nissa and Croesus to kind of go up over the top of other fair things that are going on. So let's go ahead and pop on into a historic event with this one and see how it goes. Someone asked, how has viewership been with more people staying home from over the past recently? It's not really been meaningfully different. There's more people at home potentially watching Twitch, but there's also more people streaming on Twitch because of that too. Because people who are out of work that are normally streaming. So I'm a big fan of not using gut feelings for objective data too. So if you want some objective data regarding my channel or any channel on Twitch, you checked out this Sully Gnome link. You'll be able to see trends and viewership charts on my channel in general over the last 5 years or so. Reed is a returning sponsor that we have again. We've done some sponsored stuff with them before. This time we're primarily promoting their PC client, because in addition to being a mobile RPG game, they also works on PC. If you want a cheap and easy way to support my content at no cost to yourself, install their PC client using my link there and play through the tutorial. Well, they have 2 General Enforcers, and I have a Maelstrom Pulse, so we'll take their General. If you play Raid and decide you like it and you're sub to the channel, make sure you pop in the subs Discord server. We've got a channel there where people talk about how to build characters and which champions are good, bad, etc. I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. Knew in my head somewhere that would happen, but then I didn't actually do it when push came to shove. Listen, in the words of the greatest poet of my generation, chat, when stuff like that happens, you just gotta shake it off and move along. Move along. Should have played the untapped land maybe to play around. We are super dead. Speaking of, someone earlier had asked, is there a good Hero of the Precinct 1 deck in this format? The opponent is likely playing Hero of the Precinct 1, and they're an archetype that we've played on stream before in the past. I think their deck is super reasonable even when their opponents have a brain. I very clearly did not have a brain that game and deserve to lose, but I think their deck's pretty reasonable even when the opponents play well. I'm going to board in a bunch of cheap removal here. Some more spot removal overall. Trim some of these discard spells. It's going to be a game that's more about playing to the board than anything. Trim Casualties of War at the top end because it's very expensive. Yes, yeah, that archetype is going to get Ancient Ziggurat on Thursday. Genuinely think Ancient Ziggurat is going to be the most impactful addition to Historic from HA3. I think it's going to go into a lot of different places. And this is something, it's very subtle, but a card like Ancient Ziggurat is a card that makes Jeskai Luka worse as a deck. When people ask, like, okay, what keeps Jeskai Luko from overwhelming this format like it does in Standard? Cards like Ziggurat that make the aggro decks more consistent and powerful make those decks worse. Will Ancient Ziggurat go in Grow? I don't know that she'll play 4, but she'll probably play some number. Our hand's a little bit slow here, but we were on the play. I think I would have mulliganed our hand on the draw, but hopefully on the play it'll be passable. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. I don't know. I think anybody that assumes they know what's going to happen in a Magic format is pretty arrogant and generally wrong. It's very hard to predict what's going to happen in a lot of these formats, so I agree that timely reinforcements is a powerful tool. It'll be interesting to see if that's enough. That's really good. I think tribal decks want Ziggurat and Unclaimed Territory, as is the answer with most of the interesting questions in Magic. The answer is, it depends. Depends on, like, what else your tribal deck is doing. We played 2 different mid-range decks today, Windowhead. Played Jund mid-range to start today, too. That was very good. Yep. Yeah, I think I'm saving the Triumph to cycle, although I don't think we're going to have time. Have to draw Massacre Girl next turn or this game is over. Even if we draw Massacre Girl, we're still gonna be pretty dead. So punted. I don't think the only different decision I could have made differently that game was mulliganing my opener. Definitely messed up with the Assassin's Trophy big time in the first game though. Definitely just kicked the ball there. Yes, the warrior/contributors counter in the corner is for the raid sponsorship. If you want an easy way to support my content, give their PC client to download and play through the raid tutorial using my link there. I appreciate it. Unfortunately, gonna have to mulligan this 6 as well. Ratchet Bomb's going to see some play. There's a number of cards in the Historic Anthology that we'll see play in different spots. I just think if you asked me to pick out a specific one that I thought was going to be the most impactful, I would definitely pick Ancient Ziggurat. And Hodins. I don't know about the Hodins. All right, I mean, if we hit a land in our 28 land deck next turn, we get to do stuff. Right. If we hit land, we get to curve into Nissa. Land is a lot less likely. Okay. Okay. Halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. Take my hands. We'll make it, I swear. Do, 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 do. Territorial Hammerskull. Alright, sure. Ashiok here is not only a way to be main deckable graveyard hate, but also serves as a method of helping us escape our Uros. If we hadn't already drawn an Uro, Ashiok could draw us into it, but since it's already in our bin, Ashiok's just going to put 8 to 12 cards in our discard pile to help us escape this consistently. And Ashiok milled 4 lands. Peak Magic, really. Opponent disconnected. Sure, but then Uro attacks them back, right? He's trying his hardest, but it's Comcastic. Well, that's unfortunate. My epilogue of fear. There are lands in our deck, chat. It's exciting. Are they back? Or are we done? Man, I'm so excited for the ladder again. So after today, we have one more stream of Historic without the ladder. They're gonna be. I'm taking tomorrow off, and then I'll be live Wednesday. Wednesday will be the last day of Historic without the ladder. Any hot takes on band companions and Legacy? I think the most interesting things to come out of that the ban list update from today aren't the actual bans themselves. The first is that they cited a sustained 55% win rate as being too much and a reason to ban cards. And second, they put on the table potentially changing the way companions work overall as a way to address power level concerns with them in the future. And I think both of those details are really, really big things to note. I agree, Yoman. My local fiber company is great. Chloe, thanks for checking out Raid. I appreciate it. Yeah, I pay like $75 a month, I think, for like 500 down, 100 up internet. That's lovely. $55% win rate with being overrepresented in the metagame. I feel like those two things shouldn't be connected. They didn't say how they could potentially change them. They just said that it's a tool they might use. Can you get business lines, or are you on a personal? Why would I need a business line? If you're not on a god-awful service provider like Comcast, you have a real connection. You don't need a business line. The only thing business line does is provide consistency in your connection. And when you don't have a garbage tier internet provider, you have consistency anyways. I guess you technically get like priority support, but like if your service actually just works, you also don't need that. Consistency and much better service. My service is already perfect. Literally could not pay for better service. I trophied the Golos in response to its trigger because it's probably getting another Field of the Dead. Probably dead at this point. Our Nissa just doesn't keep up with 2 Fields of the Dead. We stumbled for a little bit too long this game to be competitive, I think. Has WotC ever changed a keyword like that before? Yeah, plenty of times. Super dead. Chat, there's a chance. There's a chance our kind of clunky mid-range deck is not good. There might be a small chance that our mid-range deck, this mid-range deck is not good. Unlike the, and just to draw parallels, this mid-range deck that we're playing here is going bigger, whereas the Jund mid-range deck we found success with in an earlier set today, that was a deck that was fairly low to the ground in a lot of ways, so it was playing Luris, and Crox's ability to let you be aggressive when you needed to was huge, whereas this deck going up to Nissa and Hydrate Krasis doesn't feel like a winning proposition in a lot of these games. Like, Uro and Nissa are the only tools I have to really be aggressive with. Yeah, like, so decks like what we're playing here kind of have like a stuck in the middle type thing where like they go bigger than some things, but they're not bigger than like what this opponent is doing, for example. Like their Agent of Treacheries and Field of the Deads are a bigger thing than what we do. So in a long game, our opponent's deck is going to be favored in a matchup like this, and we just don't really have good tools to run them down. Dumpsters, Greedy Yorion decks, but gets run over by Grawl. Which one, Bob? The Jund deck? Oh, you mean the opponent's deck? Yeah, I could see that being okay. Being more similar to what the last thing we had was doing. I think I'm just taking their Teferi here because it's their only cheap play.
This is hardly my worst defeat.
Casualties, the beating for Fires and Yarn. I don't know if I buy that. I also don't feel like we get to Fires consistently enough. Or get to this fast enough a lot of the time. And again, like, a big part of the issue is that, yeah, no sweepers is a rough sell. Like, the humans deck ran us over in the second game. I messed up the first game, but they ran us over in the second game. And, there's also, you know, an issue with, you don't have any pressure. So, like, if you sit there and, like, cast your big cards over and over again, but you're not clocking them while you do that, like, they're not really meaningful. The lack of pressure along with what this deck is doing makes it seem like a hard sell. This will be our 4th card in the bin. These need 5 others, so we need 6 total. So still pretty far off escaping these. Ashiok's probably our best draw. Thought Erasure's not terrible either, though. So, like, I can escape Uro, but I'd be escaping it into both Aether Gust and Conqueror's Death here, so that doesn't seem particularly constructive. And, like, my opponent has Field of the Dead here, so while we sit here and play this waiting game, I guess I'm Casualties of Warring them, right? I guess I'm Casualties of Warring them. This deck seems like it would benefit from having Questing Beast and Ceratops the main to provide City Clock while casting powerful cards. Yeah, if we O2 this league, I think I'm going to retool and join another one. I think I'm going to cut the Nissa Hydrate Crisis aspect of the deck. And just, like, not be a full-on ramp deck. Like, play some Casualties at the top end still that we ramp to with Uro. I think both Crisis and Nissa seem unnecessary. The types of things Crisis and Nissa are doing aren't good against the other big decks in this format because they just get gone over the top of. So I'm actually going to go ahead and kill their 1/1 rather than their zombie, because I don't want them to be able to Yori and blink the 1/1. If they Yori and blink the 1/1, they're likely to find a, I think I'm going to pulse these two, just get them off the table and use my mana for the turn. Not only that, but, like, she just exposes your lands as well, James. And, like, Nissa provides a powerful clock. Like, at 5 mana, she really isn't that powerful as far as 5 mana cards go. Like, when you look at, like, what she's doing overall for her mana cost, it's really not that good. This was probably the best straw in our deck. I get to take their Conqueror's Death here and then kill their Kenrith in a land. So now they won't have Conqueror's Death to take my Uro, which is perfect. Had Mystic Dispute and elected not to use it. They can't dispute this because they only have 2 mana, and this is not blue. We have plenty of colors of every kind here, huh? Brad Nelson just tweeted that he's going to be streaming Historic this week, so that's exciting. Please embrace our one true format. Alright, okay, our turn to draw a good one. Okay, my turn now. Alright, now me, my turn, please. I don't think that one's good enough, chat. I think I need, like, our 3rd Casualties of War. I mean, to be fair, Bob, I don't think our deck or the opponent's deck are very good. Alright, spin to win. How good is Krasis off the top? I boarded out Krasis because I didn't want to go long in this matchup. Cast other Uro and look for cards? I don't know. Like, that means that they rip a removal spell, I'm just out of gas then? I've only got 6 cards in my bin at the moment. Yeah, I agree. Nissa's pretty underwhelming. The set of other things that are going on in this format that are powerful enough, make her leave a lot to be desired. Ladder's coming back soon, I promise. Soon. Soon. And it's never going away again. It's coming back and it's not turning back off. All right, if we draw our last copy of Casualties here, we're still in this game. We get to destroy Planeswalker, Artifact, Creature, Land. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I actually don't have enough mana. I actually don't have enough mana to Uro, draw Casualties, and play Casualties. Oh, I have this too. So I do. Oh, and I haven't played a land yet? Never mind, I'm a liar. Alright, let's do it. Gotta hit this turn, chat. And one more shot at our third Casualties of War. Alright, let's tear this down and play a couple more matches with something that's a more aggressively slanted mid-range deck. I don't think you can play these cards in this format. I don't think they're very good. I think maybe this in a Field of the Dead deck as a couple of top end is fine, but Nissa Hydrate Krasis just isn't big enough or fast enough in this format, in my opinion. I think top-ending some Casualties of War is fine. I think with Uro as a little bit of ramp, it's not a big deal. I think the suggestion of Questing Beast as a way to close games out sounds good. I think a few copies of Lazav could be sweet. I feel like having this early to, like, work with Uro could be okay. It also gives you, like, more virtual copies of Questing Beast in a pinch. I feel like I probably have one too many lands here, which feels weird to say. I could get down to like 26 here. This doesn't seem unreasonable. I've got room for like one more spell in the main deck. What do I want that spell to be? What's a good 2/3 or 4 drop? You want Growth Spiral? I can see Growth Spiral being okay. I feel like I want it to be something that impacts the board. Spiral could be good. Ceratops isn't terrible. I could also play Calls the Dead. That could be okay. Do I have enough hits on this? I probably don't have enough hits on this. What if I just, like, round out the playset of Ashioks? And then do this. Like, this curve's pretty reasonable, right? We've got 10 proactive 2-drops. We've got 8 good 3-drops. We've got 8 good 4-drops. Like, you look at our deck, we have, like, an actual curve here. And I think that's important too, right? You just like, you look at the deck like this as constructed now, and you think about like, okay, what is our actual like cohesive game plan? That seems pretty reasonable. Maybe I want slightly more anti-aggro stuff in the board. Let's try it. Let's try this. I think I'd rather keep up with aggro by having not only good threats, but also good removal. So I think rather than jumping to sweepers, I'd rather try Disfigures and Heartless Acts. I think we mulligan this in the dark. I guess they're playing Luris. All right, I'm going to keep this in the dark against Luris. If they're Luris aggro, I do have a removal spell. It's a little bit slow, but main deck Ashiok should hopefully go a long way. Priest is scary. Yeah, it looks like someone playing something close to the Jund mid-range Luris deck that we played earlier today. Are we Ashioking or Maelstrom Pulsing? I feel like the answer is Maelstrom Pulsing. I think I want to just get Priest out of the way before I start putting any creatures down. Like if we clear Priest out here, Questing Beast can potentially beat them down. Although I suppose if they have a land, this lets them go Luris into replay Priest next turn, which is rough. Hey, thanks for 11 months, Sky Zero. Kroxa here is actually really good for us. So I'm gonna bin this Atris. And then we'll get to Ashiok, exile their Kroxa and their Priest next turn, while also filling up our graveyard, digging towards an Uro. They have a lot of card advantage here with Trailer Crumbs, though. We're going to need to get rid of that at some point. And we also need to worry about their companion happening. It's very possible that the deck that we're playing at the moment is just a bad version of the opponent's archetype. That, like, being more aggressive with Kroxa and, like, having access to Luris is just a better access to be working from. So again, Ashiok, regardless of who you mill, exiles your opponent's graveyard every time. We've got more cards in hand, but the opponent's board is very superior to ours. between this priest and the Trail of Crumbs and the Luris looming, like, we're in a little bit of a rough spot at the moment. Food healing their life total back up here too, which is a big deal. Gonna be tough to pressure them out of the game. Just playing out the Luris proactively here. Hey, Goat Napped, I'm glad you're enjoying Historic too. The key to any part of Magic is just like having a format that you really want to play right, and usually having a deck that you connect with in that format. And that's one of the things that is just like one of the things that makes Magic just one of the greatest games ever made, is the fact that Magic as a game is just a rules set, and we have all these different modes we can play it in. They have a Binding of the Titans or a Call of the Death Dwellers here. They're probably going to continue to bury us. Hopefully our Ashiok can find us an Uro. But the problem with that is their Priest of the Forgotten Gods is just sitting here as well, waiting to kill any creatures we put into play. Yeah. I think we're just dead at this point. I guess Uro could draw us a removal spell, maybe. Did not find an Uro. Alright, Questerson it is. They get to start looping the cat. Yeah, I want to move on to the next game. They can start looping their cat here. Disfigure sounds great here. Heartless Act sounds reasonable. Ceratops, not particularly good. I don't know that we really need Atris. I'm going to trim these Thought Erasures. Bring in this last Maelstrom Pulse. Casualties of War is a huge card in this matchup. This is definitely one that can put us pretty far over the top if we can find it early enough. Would I rather have Agonizing Remorse, or would I rather have more threats? I'm going to split the difference, actually. I think being able to close the game out is valuable here. Yeah, we could potentially use every mode but Planeswalker here. The contributors thing is part of the raid sponsorship, the Greater Aura. So they doing another sponsored segment for them on Wednesday. So if you want an easy way to support my content, give their PC client a download from my link. And play through the tutorial to get counted. Are both the bots dead? There we go. Worked the second time, I guess. They didn't drop any frames there, right? Weird. Their actual PC client's a lot better looking than the mobile version. Has a lot more detail in the animations and stuff. But it's the first deck you're going to try with the HA3 cards. Whatever's at the top of the deck queue. Just going to work it from the top right on down. You should download Raid during your 45-minute break, Maddie. I appreciate you. It'll take like 3 minutes of your time. It's like, it's sub 5 minutes, Black Sheep. Real quick. Yeah, Matt, like, literally brings food to my table sometimes. I think I'm just binning this Heartless Act. Is that crazy? Yeah, I'm gonna bin the Questing Beast. Do we have any Shillionaires? Not mathematically possible yet, Kent. I believe our first Shillionaire, it actually Beansy there in chat, is leading. It tracks the client download if you downloaded it through my link to start, Omega King Koopa. So if you download it using that streams.net/Jeff Hoagland bot link, that takes you to a raid download on the PC. Yep. And then actually, when you complete the tutorial, you'll see your name along with a little guy pop up on the raid alert there. "170 days of watching." Now, it's closer to about a year, Kenner, when you factor in that I take days off. Maybe it's like 170 days live. That could be thereabouts. I think it's about a year or a little less. I've heard you talk about having a system so you cannot spend much money on Arena. I don't know. There's no system. I give Wizard of the Coast 200 to 250 bucks every set release. If you have reasonable decks and you're an okay constructed player, you can play the 1,000 gold entry fee events and make a profit on those to pool up gold for set releases. But other than having a decent win rate and farming those events and doing your dailies, you gotta put dollars in. $730,000 for Beansy on the shilling count. There you go, chat. Dream a little dream, chat. I believe in you. Heartless Act can't kill Priest because it has a counter on it. That's funny. This adds a death touch counter on it, so we're going to decline to block here. Again, Questing Beast really kind of showing its worth. If we win this game, it's probably going to be because we run them down. That's super unfortunate. Need to draw like a Disfigure or a trophy here to kill this priest. Otherwise, we about to be real dead. Hey, that's actually not a bad pickup. It lets us have another creature here. So that way priest doesn't make us sack Quester Sid. Do I keep that so I can play both of these next turn? Probably not. Yeah, Lazav and Niv that have animations inside of their screens are really slick. I agree. Those are some of my favorite. Okay. Huh. Okay. Oh, wait. This is totally a thing. I forgot this was a thing. It keeps its name. It keeps its name. Da-da-da-da! And since I have another questing beast in my hand, we'll sack the actual questing beast. Yeah, they're not dead, but that's like the optimal line. You are correct in that they are not dead this turn, but we found the line. And like next turn we can play questing beast out and attack them with 2/4/4s again. Feels good, man. Again, Questerson, so good in these kind of mid-rangey decks. This is definitely the biggest card you give up in the opponent's deck by playing Lurrus. Lurrus is obviously worth it because it's a very powerful card, but Questerson is just so good. What other green card do they play besides Trail? They play Goose, Maelstrom Pulse, and then we were trying Binding of the Titans was a card we concluded we wanted to play earlier today. So I assume that they're going to sacrifice Lurrus and Supplier here and make us sack Lazav. I did watch through Umbrella Academy. Please enjoy my government-issued fun bucks and put them on Jeskai Land Destruction. Thanks for stimulating my economy, Unbanned Twin. How did things go with the Dino deck? We did the thing far more times than expected. Definitely can stamp exceeds expectations on that one. Wait, are we gonna kill them with Questing Beast? Oh no, they're bringing back a cat. Never mind. So they're gonna go up to 6 here. Trail gives them a cat. Alright, so if we draw an untapped land here, we get to kill this, and a red source. Hey, Ryan. Thanks for the entire year of support. Let's get your sword to go with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around. I appreciate it. Oh, look at all of our pretty colors, chat. You love to see it. Alright, so we're hoping to fade a red source here. Mapamonte. Thanks for checking out the sponsor. I knew you were a good uncle, Maddie. I appreciate you. Ugh. You'd probably actually like the game, Matt. You played a bunch of WoW, right? Like, it's actually, like, a genuinely reasonable game. Yeah, if you're gonna play Raid, you should pick Kale. The wizard as your starter. He's probably the best of the four. Oh, the stupid cats, chat. Stupid cats. Like, I guess, yeah, I guess like the optimal play is like do this, kill priest, but I'm like not happy about it. Like, they just get to replay it with the Lurrus next turn. Yeah, if they block, I'll remove Death Touch. But I assume they're just going to go to 1 here. My deck doesn't have any reach in it. Streamer hates cats. Thanks for the 2 buds. Bender, I appreciate it. Alright, well, at least with this play, they can't activate a priest next turn. Unless they have a, what's it called? King Koopa. Thanks for checking out the sponsor. I need to figure out some kind of incentive for the raid goal. If we get to 180, I get a bonus. Maybe I'll just add a bonus stream or something. Need to talk to the wife about that. We've got a week to try and get there. Giving you all some little bonus usually helps us get over the humps on those types of things. Ugh. That loses us our Uro. Rough. That's like our last extra resource. Now we gotta, peel another Casualties of War. The Nom Nom Fish, thanks for the quarter of a year. Welcome back. Okay. Can't block. So there's Menace and Death Touch. One Casualties of War, please. 1 Casualties of War, please. Yeah, we're super dead. Yeah, let's try one more. Let's try one more. Are there any decks in the queue that have new historic cards in them? Yeah, there's a bunch. How many decks? So we've got, at the top of the deck queue, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The top 7 decks in the deck queue after today for historic are all waiting on HA3 cards. Get you later, Black Sheep. HA3 brings the return of the historic ladder with it on the 23rd. Or 21st. 23rd is the open. Discard spell. Your discard spell is a tried and true Magic the Gathering line.
Let's slow this down. There's nothing.
I'm just gonna get Ashiok going right away. Get the bin filled up for Uro.
That's more like it.
One Uro, please. Rats. I was hoping to flip Uro there, because if we flip Uro, we could escape him this turn, which would be ideal. It's incredibly interactive. Discard spells aren't necessarily fun, but they are very interactive. Like the Record Reflect. Enjoy your Catacomb, opponent. Really unfortunate that we didn't,
Don't worry, I got this.
Man, where's a land drop when you need one? If we could haste this in and smack Teferi, it would be so good. Let's take a peekaboo here. Alright, their hand is quite bad.
You just let me know if you're up for round 2.
Legion's End notably only hits Lazav in our deck. Do they not have a land? They don't have basics? That's so good for us. Why did they take Maelstrom Pulse and not Trophy if they didn't have basics? Seems super loose. No, Ashiok does not turn off effects that you have that make the opponent search. Oh, we milled. We put you... Okay, so they have 2 basics. Yeah, Ashiok's a very well-designed card. Ashiok is not Leonin Arbiter. Ashiok does not let you field or ruin or ghost quarter people. Hey, Jesset, thanks for checking out Raid. And a couple others in there too, I appreciate you. Sorry I missed the names. I think we actually just like the march of the endless Uro, right? Like this is Lunark, thanks for the 8 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Ashiok here just like ensuring that we have a constant flow of things. Hey, thanks Fanny Pack for checking out the sponsor. Flesh-eating gnome, I appreciate it. Hey, Nemesis, thanks for the big tip. Thank you for being a consistent source of entertainment, especially during these trying times. Thanks for the absurd support. If there's anything you'd like to see, let me know. Even if it's just something already in the queue that you'd like to see a bit sooner. Wow, they skipped the Teferi. Really? Wild. Okay, I've got 2 things here that are good against Ashiok, though. So, like, not a big deal, but still. So the problem with Tamiyo is that, 1, Tamiyo stops being useful when your deck runs out of cards. Or, like, you have to stop plussing it when your deck gets low. And, like, our deck is realistically going to get low in this. Like, look at these Ashioks. We're already at 25 cards here. Hey, Hoser, thanks for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Saku, thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate you re-upping. Sounds good, Nemesis. We want Tamio with Yorian. Maybe. That's super unfortunate because it means Uro dies now. I have Maelstrom Pulse for the Ashiok though. So like I get to Maelstrom Pulse, the Ashiok, Ceratops, kill Teferi. We could start milling them. That's a real thought, I suppose. There's 16 cards in my bin. Sure. That was not the questing beast I wanted for Christmas, chat. Are all my questing beasts dead? 1, 2, 3. Well, most of them. I'm gonna hold a land in my hand just in case they're playing something weird like a Basilic Bellhaunt.
Oh, I've done the hero thing before.
Alright, let's surveil one. Hopefully they don't have a cheeky Nexus of Fate since we're milling them. We did draw a questing beast here, which is nice. I'm actually gonna play this land out now, because on the off chance they have something like Ritual of Soot or Tyrant Score, and I want to be able to clone this. Nexus wouldn't matter, because it would get exiled. That's actually not true. Nexus never enters the graveyard. Nexus is what we refer to as a replacement effect. So Nexus does not get exiled when you mill it over with Ashiok. It gets shuffled back in. Nexus, never at any point is Nexus in the graveyard. I think I actually don't want the Strokes here. I'm going to trip the Lazavs and the Strokes and just be like this. We'll board in the extra Ceratops, the extra Maelstrom Pulse. Seems reasonable. It's very atrocious. There's just there's almost no good ways to interact with it. You have to like syncopate it or Agonizing Remorse it. It's a really bad design. What's the best Nexus deck? So we've played a Jeskai taking turns deck somewhat recently, Kent, that we're gonna play again on Thursday or Friday with timely reinforcements in it. And then there's also a Bant Nexus deck that I've always been underwhelmed by the Bant Nexus deck. I think the Jeskai deck is better. Yeah, it's a Fires Nexus deck, the Jeskai deck. Dispute me, daddy, dispute me. It does not get hit by Leyline of the Void, no. Fires has no drawback when it's always your turn. Ain't that the God's honest truth? Hey, Dingle, thanks for checking out the raid sponsor. Swish. Swish. Alright, I'll take the pile with 2 cards because I'm just looking for lands here. So they can Teferi plus Erasure now, I guess. But, like, they don't have anything good to bounce here, right?
This might be a bad idea.
Taking turns is a good time, Bob. For a good time call is definitely accurate. Yes, this also means their Tef doesn't draw a card. Hopefully, if we're really lucky, this Uro's going to draw a discard spell. This is going to smack their Tef so he doesn't draw a card. Their Atris is going to draw some cards, but like Casualties of War is going to catch that card advantage right back up. I got you, Adidas. Aim to please.
Here we go.
Read 'em and weep. Read 'em and weep. Yeah, I believe so, Dingleberries. I should really play through the tutorial and see where it ends to tell people. Someone that did get to complete the tutorial, where exactly does it end? What's the sign that ends? I haven't played the tutorial in like 4.5 months. I've been playing it for a while. I want to leave creatures in my bin for Lazav. Although I think I boarded him out, right? Having good mana is great. Having good mana is great. And the click prompt stop, you're good to go. Perfect. All right, see if we can get our money back from this league, huh? Yeah, I think dragging the curve down was super meaningful. I think Nissa and Hydroid Krasis are just not an angle you want to fight on in this format with a deck like this. So I assume they have an opt here. They could be blue-green flash of some kind with like a Spectral Sailor here. Huh? We just take the expansion, right? Because I can Ashiok exile the Uro. Thanks for the content. Always great to see some historic decks. Thanks for your game, Arcade. Our arena segments here are going to be mostly historic moving forward. You are allowed to look at your sideboard at any time during paper. That is correct. Hey, thanks to whoever just checked out the sponsor. I appreciate it. Well, poop. Yeah, what does Reclamation gain in this format? Is it just better mana? Are there any big upgrades? I did. It does look sweet, Lamacopter. Oh, they get to play Nexus. Sure. Sure, they get to play Nexus. I don't know if the removal's really better. Nexus is a real answer. Billy Zane Jr., thanks for the 18 months. Oh, you know what? I should minus first because they could expansion this back at my Ashiok. I guess the upside to doing the second is I get to exile their thing, which is nice. Yep. Some lands would be nice, deck. Perfect. Oh, Azcanta. Azcanta's a good one. Yeah, Azcanta's a huge upgrade. Big agree. I would be incredibly surprised if Wizards reprints fetch lands in Standard. I would also be kind of upset. I think fetch lands are awful, and I hope they don't reprint them. I think Fabled Passage is as powerful as a fetch land as I would like to have in Historic. We know they don't want them in Pioneer. Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah, the fact they're banned in Pioneer, too. They're on record as saying they regret printing Thoughtseize. Really? Do you have a source on that? Bottoms up. You love to see it. I think Prismatic Vista would be too good. I think it's, yeah, yes. I think that card is better than Fabled Passage, and I think Fabled Passage is the appropriate power level for a fetch land. Ha! Deal. Hey, thanks whoever just checked out the sponsor. I appreciate it. Let's lead on this. See if we can get a discard spell here or something. They're going to get to escape Uro next turn, but I've got Trophy and Casualties of War, so it's not like too big of a deal. This is bait, right? Thanks for the 19 months, Stone Age. This has to be bait, right? Silifarian, excited to watch Hoots on Saturday. I'm excited to cast it. Thanks for the 31 months. Welcome back. Thanks, JJ, for checking out the raid sponsor. Noticed the sub server had disappeared, and I realized I hadn't resubbed. Thanks for the 4 months, Rogen. Yeah, the sub server, I think it gives you like a 7-day grace period. So if your subs lapse for a week, it bumps you out. Nope, there's an actual PC client. So if you click that raid link, it takes you to the Polarium website, and they have a PC download link there. And the graphics and animations and stuff on it are much slicker than the mobile client. Some of the menus are still kind of mobile-y in the main interface. It's obviously a port of their mobile client, but overall it's nice. And then Questing Beast here gonna serve as quite the clock. They only have one card in their bin right now. I think I'm just taking their Growth Spiral, because hopefully they're gonna be dead before this Uro escapes again. Thanks, Brightmore. Yep. That's actually a great drop. Because, I can escape Uro now, and then next turn I can play this and copy Questing Beast. And attack for 10. Now, my opponent's deck does have Expansion Explosion in it, right? And they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They have 11 mana. So gaining some life with Uro is relevant here too, so we don't get burned out, ideally. We are at least sandbagging in answer to, a Wilderness Reclamation. So like if they play that out, we can kill it. Could copy Ceratops? Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I'm probably just playing Questing Beast and then attacking for 10. And we'll leave this hang for a second. Yeah, we'll play it for a couple hours on stream on Wednesday, Goat Nap. There's also a couple of streams of it. This is our third time doing one, so you can find them on my YouTube channel too. Everything goes up there. Yo. Probably dead here. It's tough to recover from a draw 12 like that. Nah, the number of legendary cards you need to like play a legendary sorcery consistently and not just have it end up being dead is like really high. I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day on this one. I know we're not like we have another match to play here, game here to play technically, but I feel like I'm kind of over it. Like I feel like what we're doing here is probably just worse than the Jund deck we played earlier today. I feel like the difference between Kroxa and Uro in these mid-range decks is really big. And mid-range, for those that aren't familiar, tends to refer to decks that assume different roles in different matchups. So like against decks like Reclamation, you're a beatdown deck, but against aggro decks, you're a control deck. And Kroxa really lets you pivot nicely against the decks where you need to be the beatdown, where Uro really doesn't. The fact that this card chews away your opponent's resources while also hammering their life total harder, I think makes it just a better tool for that job. So overall, between the two mid-range decks we played in Historic today, both iterations of the Sultai mid-range we played today felt pretty lacking, and the Jund mid-range felt reasonable and impressive again. And I think I'm going to go ahead and add a variation of that one up to the website, probably tomorrow when I get some time. since I won't be live tomorrow. At any rate, we are going to wrap things up today with a little bit of Griftlands. For people that haven't seen Griftlands, I'm going to pull that up here and we'll talk